What is up, everybody? If you're new here, my name is Liam. Going to be ripping the Best Ball Mania 4 Leaderboard show. Almost didn't do this show. It's my third stream of the day. Ripped the DFS slate with Davis over on his pod. Did one with Justin. Make sure you go back and check that out. But seeing all this love, well, go ahead. Start the stream off with a like. Thank you, man. 2 streams today. Love it. Thank you, Adam. Really like these streams. Thank you, Proper19. What is up, Jeff? Appreciate you. Good luck to you, Proper. So, yeah, on today's show, we're going to probably keep it easy, a little quick, because I did rip 3 streams today. But we go through the top scoring players on the week. We go through the top scoring teams in BBM4. We look at my top teams. We look at your top teams, the top teams in the whole contest, and anything we can learn. As always, please hit the like and subscribe. And once the stream ends, make sure to drop a comment in the YouTube section. Really helps the algo. So, as always, in my Discord, link to join is below in the YouTube description. You can find the resource we're going to be using here, which is the BBMMD.com. Shout out Patrick for making that great tool. Going into the top scores on the week. As always, I forgot to invite a guest this week. Things just got kind of crazy with Thanksgiving and whatnot. So we'll have a guest back on next week. Usually we do this with a guest. But Trevor Lawrence finally popped up for a ceiling game off the back of 2 rushing touchdowns. Was pretty key. Brock Purdy absolutely eviscerated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, popping up for 27 points. Justin Herbert getting it done as usual. Could have had a bigger day if Quentin Johnston could hold on to a touchdown pass from him, potentially. Lamar Jackson finally pops up for a decent game against the Bengals. Who knows what would have happened in that game if Joe Burrow doesn't go down to injury. Josh Allen doing his normal things. Pretty impressive he got this done against the Jets defense. Kyler Murray seems just officially back. 23 points. Shout out to Kyler. Any team that paired Kyler and an elite quarterback is looking real solid right now. Tommy DeVito, doubt he was even drafted. I mean, we got to look it up. Who's got some Tommy DeVito out there? Anytime, am I spelling this right? Yeah. Anytime the guy does not pop up at all, that's got to be a sign that he was not drafted, which makes sense. Who's drafting 3rd string quarterbacks on the Giants? But he had a day. Justin Fields, for how much rushing production Justin Fields had, over 100 rushing yards, kind of a disappointing day. But, big things to come for him if he's going to be rushing that much. Jordan Love has quietly been putting together a solid month of football. Sam Howell getting it done as usual. Jalen Hurts got there. Really, like, all of this production is in the second half against the Chiefs, which is pretty impressive. And then Tua and destroyed the Raiders for 19 points. At running back, checking out the half-point PPR. Saquon had one of the stranger ceiling games for him, 28 points. This was off the back of a deep touchdown pass from Tommy DeVito. Got a second touchdown pass, so didn't really get there on the ground, but got there in the air. Jaylen Warren, had an explosive breakaway run against the vaunted Browns defense. This week, he gets Cincinnati's defense, which is like one of the league leaders in how many explosive runs they let up. So real excited. Jaylen Warren, one of my highest exposed players. I coined him as like 85% Austin Eckler very, very early to our friend Pat Corain. He is, put up a stretch of solid weeks. And now with the Steelers firing Matt Canada, my guess is Warren could get even more work. Anyone with a brain could kind of see Warren is getting it done and Najee not as much. So that's exciting. The Steelers screen game has also been very bad. And that's just like a coaching and execution thing usually. So if that can get better, potentially more plays for Warren, more explosion opportunities. But we'll see. Maybe the OC change is actually a bad sign, and maybe Najee just starts getting a workload usage for some reason. Gus Edwards, he's sharing the backfield now with 3 guys, which is not that great for manage, but he continues to score touchdowns. CMC, as usual, Devin Singletary putting together a nice stretch of games against Arizona's bad run defense. Jahmyr Gibbs, just an explosive guy, got there. And Montgomery punched in a touchdown. DeAndre Swift against the Chiefs, pretty impressive for him against a strong Chiefs D. And then James Cook, I think you're excited if you have James Cook. A, he's probably not that much of an advance rate guy right now. B, Joe Brady, the Bills' new offensive coordinator, not only worked under Sean Payton with Alvin Kamara, but he also worked with CMC in the past. Now, obviously, I don't think James Cook is on quite that level, but the point is the OC saw the benefit of what the passing game can do to the running backs. I have some hesitance to think that James Cook's workload from this game will carry over. It's potential that it was just a byproduct of how the Bills wanted to attack the Jets defense, who has a very strong secondary. And when teams are trying to take away Stephon Diggs, the Bills now have pieces in James Cook, in Dalton Kincaid, who they can get the ball to instead of trying to force it to Diggs. Montgomery already talked about. Brian Robinson did most of this workload, and like the last drive of the game had quite a bit of catches. As long as Antonio Gibson is out of the game, he is going to be very solid in not only the passing game, but also the rushing game. And then Tony Pollard against the Panthers defense. I mean, thank God the guy got a touchdown. Of course, the Dallas defense could not fall at the 3-yard line. They had to score yet another touchdown, siphoning off Tony Pollard's opportunities. But the Cowboys have a really awesome schedule for running backs, so Pollard should be pretty strong the rest of the way, as long as Rico Dowdle is not stealing some work. Moving over to the wide receivers. Calvin Ridley had a huge game off of the back of 2 touchdowns from Trevor. Something I wanted to point out is, thanks to our friends over at Fantasy Life, checking out the game log over here. Travis Etienne, you can see what his snaps have been to date. No lower than like 70% and tons of games in the 80% workload. The past 2 weeks has been in the 60%. Lower rushing attempts, similar routes. So to me, that's a sign that the team, maybe Etienne's a little banged up, but it's a bigger sign that the Jaguars realize that this workload probably not sustainable. They need to spell him a little bit. Most of that workload went to Tank, and unfortunately for our Tank drafters, Dearness Johnson, because Tank has been pretty bad this year, got some workload as well. But, I think it's a sign that they want to save Etienne for the playoffs. As a team that's looking at the playoffs, and it was a team in the Titans who you can beat through the air, you can beat on the ground. The Jaguars are just a higher class of a team than the Titans pretty comfortably. So getting Calvin Ridley involved, there was a lot of talk about the Zay Jones splits in and out of the lineup. And yes, Zay Jones was active this game, but most of Calvin Ridley's work did not come when Zay Jones was even on the field. So it's a sign that the team is giving him easier routes. They put him in the slot, I think about 20%. Which, historically he's not been a slot guy, just running strictly down the field. So, potentially much better days ahead for Calvin Ridley. Potentially this was just a, hey, let's give this guy some work against a team we can beat, keep him happy. We'll see. Tyreek, of course, copy and paste every week. Tank Dell looking like the rookie pick of the year. I very bizarrely had a tweet go viral referencing Tank Dell. It got like 1 million impressions. Don't know why, but shout out Tank Dell. Ayuk against the Commanders week 17, man, that guy's going to win championships. Just really, really, really strong performances from these wide receivers. Keenan and DJ Moore got there. Khalil Shakir against the Jets got there thanks to a awesome block from Dalton Kincaid where he like hip checked a defender and Sauce Gardner was jogging. He was really jogging after that catch, and Dalton Kincaid wiped out 3 Jet defenders on the Shakir explosive play. Yeah, I mean, the Gabe Davis continues to run like 100% of the routes. Against the Jets, he gets matched up against Sauce Gardner, and the Bills have just been like, fine, whatever. We won't target you against the Jets. Hard to, in raw target volume, Kincaid obviously is ahead of Gabe. Will Shakir also be ahead of Gabe? Hard to say if that was just kind of a Jets thing. I still think Gabe will have some spike weeks. He's still a great run blocker, of course, but Shakir offers some explosion from the slot, and we'll have to see what the Bills do when Knox is back. My guess is the Bills are best off if Knox is after Shakir, after Gabe in the lineup. DK Metcalf did a lot of this in the first half, got a touchdown. Geno's injury did him no favors. Amon-Ra copy and paste every week. Devontae Adams got a deep touchdown. Jaden Reed potentially just looking like the wide receiver 1 for Green Bay. Darius Slayton against the Commanders, even he got there. Unfortunately, he got injured. I don't know how serious that injury is. Let's find out together, see if we can see anything. Darius Slayton, questionable. Don't really know what that injury is. But let's move on here to tight end. And George Kittle, another huge week. I mean, the George Kittle cost in best ball never made sense to me. We're punishing this guy for playing alongside other good players, but I think it continues to be a lesson that if you bet on talented players, on good offenses, more importantly, you're going to get touchdowns, and that's that. You really need that in half-point PPR. Josh Oliver got there. Travis Kelce, honestly, like kind of a disappointing game from him. Had some fumbles, but he had 12 points. You had some randos. Josh Oliver, Stone Smart. Dalton Schultz got a touchdown. Luke Schoonmaker got a touchdown. I, for some reason, have 6% Luke Schoonmaker in BBM4. I was just kind of hoping, second-round rookie. It's not a lock. Ferguson is the guy. Njoku pops up with, I think he had, 15 targets or something, and it was all screen work. Dalton Kincaid, both Chargers tight ends got here. Donald Parham as well. Dalton Kincaid did almost all this work in the first half. I think that's an indication that that the Bills value him so highly that in a game that kind of got out of hand, they did not want to risk injury for him because the Bills' schedule the rest of the way is Eagles, bye, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots, Dolphins. So a gauntlet of a schedule, and they're going to need all their best guys. Tommy Tremble got there without Hayden Hurst in the lineup. Tanner Hudson looking like the tight end 1 in Cincinnati, unfortunately for him. His routes have been trending up every week. He's got solid targets and everything. Unfortunately, the Joe Burrow injury probably pumps that a little or kills that a little bit. I highly doubt he was drafted at all. He was not. Drew Sample is a blocking tight end pretty strictly. And Kate Otten tied as well. And McBride. McBride, honestly, kind of like a disappointing day. Needed that 55 yards for my pick'em slip on Friday, but is what it is. Better days for McBride, who I think ran 100% of routes, which is just like insane workloads. Let's see here. 97% of routes for him. You can see Kincaid was actually down here at 80%, but again, that's because he stopped playing some of the second half. So, looking at the players of the week, let's call it there. Let's jump into, we'll take a look at my top 3 teams. My highest scoring team, I posted on Twitter, is actually a team I streamed. So keep this in mind next summer when I'm doing my best ball drafts and you see I'm streaming one. This isn't no free streamer EV over here. Now, this team is awesome at a lot of positions. Specifically, it's the nuts at quarterback, running back, and tight end. Unfortunately, all the wide receivers are not great. So just imagine what this team could look like if it had hit Tank Dell, if it had hit Nico Collins, if it had hit some of these guys, especially with me having CJ Stroud. It's not like I was building with CJ Stroud in mind. I mean, you can go back and watch the stream to see what I was thinking during it. I posted that on Twitter again, but it is a Allen Stroud team, super fun combo. This is what I did with a lot of elite quarterbacks. Try to wait as long as possible. Did the same thing last year with Geno, and that, did I see Stroud being this good? No, but when you do some logical things, such as wait on your second quarterback with an elite, you're going to hit the nuts sometimes. CMC, Barkley, ETN, could not ask for a better trio of running backs. Ken Walker is now hurt, but also is solid when in there. Gabe Davis is a boom bust guy. Traylon Burks hopefully is healthy and back out there. Took a pretty brutal hit. Michael Thomas is now on IR. Cortland Sutton is, I guess, the default wide receiver 1 on this team. He's kind of sun running touchdowns, but even that is not that exciting. OBJ, maybe better days ahead for. He's been trending up, and maybe he's getting healthier. MVS dropped a long bomb touchdown, lost the Chiefs the game. They were probably going to lose anyways, scoring too early. Curtis Samuel is a solid piece. Richie James maybe plays more now without MVS. And Darius Slayton gave us a week here, but, not the best there. And then Kincaid, Schultz, Taysom Hill, really can't ask for a better trio of tight ends there. I'm pretty sure I only planned to draft 2, but Taysom was there, and I was like, why not? Welcome, Taysom. My second highest scoring team is a Dak Brock Purdy team. Both these top 2 teams are in the top 10K. My only 2 teams in the top 10K. I believe if you 150 max, your expectation is to get 2 in the top 10K. So I'm at expectation. I think I had 4 last week, so we'll see. Probably got some close ones. It's Prescott, Purdy, Jacobs, ETN, Walker, Sanders. So, this team's getting some injuries. Sanders obviously not that key. CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Ayuk, really smashed trio right there. Michael Pittman, pretty solid. Burks is hurt, as we said. Mims is a rookie that's not playing that much. Juju is awful, and Mingo is awful. Knox hurt. Henry not good. Mayer is playing. K. Dotton is playing. And, you would wish that one of these guys is like Trey McBride. Allen and Howell is my third highest scoring team. Again, a logical thing. Take an elite quarterback. Wait as much as you can on a second quarterback when you take an elite and invest in draft capital. And sometimes you land on a great player. Sometimes you land on Bryce Young. Sometimes you land on Howell. Sometimes you land on Stroud. Pollard, Gibbs, Rashad Penny, Tank Bigsby, Devin Singletary, Leonard Fournette, Gus Edwards. I barely took Leonard Fournette, so I'm kind of surprised to see him here, but a real mixed bag here running back. Pollard, a smash. I mean, no, not a smash. Disappointment, but good schedule ahead. Gibbs looking very strong, but, took a while to come on. Penny, largely been inactive. I had some hope that he would be active against the Chiefs because he played the game before the bye. Take Bigsby, pretty big 0. Singletary is now a solid hit. Fournette, I think, is probably not going to be active this year if the Bills have their way. And then Gus Edwards, another smash. It's got Tyreek, Hollywood Brown, Jordan Addison, Michael Thomas, Jameson Williams, Nico Collins, and Alec Pierce. Again, a mixed bag. Tyreek smash. Hollywood, better days ahead for. Addison, is what it is with the Kirk injury, but Josh Dobbs can support him. Michael Thomas on IR. JMO, I think, will have some big games. He's got to have at least 1-2 touchdown game in him. Nico, very, very solid. And Pierce, a bust. And then Hawkinson and Kincaid, very solid. Double week 13 bye. We're not worried about that, though. Let's check out the top teams in the whole contest. Mikey Juice, I believe he was leading last week, and he still is. Was drafted on August 8th. Oh, I want to look at that real quick for me. My top teams are July 24th, August 26th, and May 27th. So one of my very, very early drafts, one of my tops. Mikey Juice drafted on August 8th. A Lamar Prescott team with Jones, Swift, Achane, Warren, Mostert, Gus Edwards. Slam dunk, except for Jones, who's now hurt. AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan, nuts. Hollywood, solid. Brandon Cooks has given him some games and is a stack partner. KJ Osborne, whatever. Curtis Samuel, giving you some usable weeks. And then Laporta, likely. McBride, really, really solid. He even got the benefit of the Mark Andrews injury, where, again, I don't think likely was a great process pick or anything due to the change in the Ravens offense this year. But, could the guy have some usable weeks? Absolutely. So really like how this guy built his team. It's also got some pieces for week 17. So good luck to you, Mikey Juice. No half stepping in second, drafted on September 3rd. So one of the last days of the contest. Josh Allen and Brock Purdy, very, very, very nutted. Cook, White, Dillon, Mostert, Edwards, Zach Moss, Kyron Williams, very solid. Kyron is coming back this week, and the Rams cut Darrell Henderson. So we know that Kyron is pretty locked and loaded there. Diggs, Keenan, Watson, Sutton, Nico, Van Jefferson, and Dell, and then Hawkinson and Everett. So really, really, really solid wide receivers, mostly just Hawkinson at tight end. Week 13 will hurt this team a little bit with a bunch of buys upcoming, but can probably weather the storm. And then Game Over 38, again, drafted on September 4th, so one of the last days of the contest. Dak, Russ, Matt Jones, Ramondre, Montgomery, Brian Robinson, Elijah Mitchell, Achane, Gus Edwards, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan, Kirk, Sutton, Moore, Wilson, and then Kittle and Ferguson. And yeah, like Achane's done nothing since he got hurt, and then he got hurt again. But when you have a 50-point game cheap, you're just gonna be on the winner so many times, because any team that did not get to place 50 raw points in at running back, it's just tough to overcome. So good luck to Game Over 38. Let's get to some of your comments, and then we will probably end this stream early. Again, I'm a little burnt out today after the multiple streams. It's a Thanksgiving, we all got some rest here, but let's see here. Yeah, someone says, I got the top Justin Jefferson team. I'm not sure whether to be happy or sad about it. I hear you, man. What's your most live team, or the team you have the highest hopes for? I'd be lying to you if I've looked through all of them, but let's look at them together, brother. And then let's look through some of my exposures and do a little vibe check. I did some of this with Justin Herzig again. I would recommend checking out that stream. Another early team for me, May 13th. Solid wideouts, 2 quarterbacks. Let's move on. Let's try to find a complete team for my guy Daniel there. My team that won BBM2 was one of my higher scoring teams in the regular season, but it was not my favorite, so you never really know. And this is a very unique year, as every year is, when you need to survive a whole season of playing professional football. Let's try. I mean, any team that's like healthy, you're feeling good about. And it's got to have enough firepower at wideout. Tight end, you cannot have a bad tight end team this year either in Survive. There's just too many good ones, in my opinion. Especially with like the Mark Andrews injury occurring, you still have to survive the Hawkinson teams, the Kincaid teams, the Taysom teams, the McBride teams, the Laporta teams, the Ferguson teams. So many. Oh, let's look at that one. Lamar and Stroud, Ken Walker and Charbonnet. So we handcuffed the Seahawks. Bigsby, Warren, Gainwell, Mostert, Zamir. Mixed bag there. Chase, JSN, Addison, Dotson, Burks, Dell. This is not my favorite, but it's kind of nice. It's got Stroud to Dell. It had Lamar to Andrews. It still has Kincaid and Taysom, though. I posted this team on Twitter. Let's find it. I know it's close to advancing. So many 2 QB teams in my portfolio. I think I said it was 9 points out. No. This one. Yeah. So this is a concept I kind of played around with since the BBM2 days when I used to draft wide receivers early and then too many. And this is the opposite of drafting, there's the hyper fragile running back, which is where you draft 4 running backs early, kind of like my top scoring team, and then a bunch of wide receivers. This is the opposite, where you draft 5 wide receivers to start your draft, rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you nail a bunch of running backs. And I even detoured here to go double elite tight end by price at least. Pitts is not quite there. Kittle is. Hit 3 strong quarterbacks as well. Dak, Love, Purdy. Why was Purdy so cheap? And then drafted 8 running backs. So it's a 3-8-5-2. Not everyone's been a hit either, right? Like AJ Brown and Lamb have been hits. Lamb more so recently. Debo has been hurt most of the year. Watson has been a disappointment, and hurt. And then Gabe Davis has given you spike weeks, but not been a dependable player. Kittle has been a star for the team. Pitts not so much. J.K. Dobbins was out for the year, so we don't have him. So the only real running backs are Charbonnet, Spears, Kendra barely plays. Chuba is a hit. Kyron is a smash, and that's probably why this team is doing good. Sean Tucker is a miss. And Ty Chandler, pretty solid piece now that he is playing. So the team, has 3 quarterbacks, 5 healthy wide receivers still, 2 healthy tight ends, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, I would say, could give you a spike in any given week. And it's not impossible Kendra or Sean Tucker could either. What have the Saints been doing with Kendra? He's just been so unlucky with his injuries, it seems like, somewhat. Yeah, he didn't even play week 10. I don't know what's up with him. But, I nailed the first 2, Brown and Lamb. Debo, whatever, if Gabe could have been Ayuk instead, this team is wheels up. If Watson was not many players in that round, a healthy Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, something like that. But, I think it's a good concept of a team. It could make some noise. It's 9 points out of advancing, so it's close. Let's see here. Yeah, you have one team in the top 10K. It's only gotten 50 points from Hurst and Juwan. Yeah, that's just like, could that be fine? Yeah, but it's too weak. This is one of my teams I like quite a bit. It was drafted early by me. Nope, not that team. Where did I just click that one? I think it's this one. No. I know it was drafted early. Maybe here. No, but this team's fun. It was drafted on April 30th, so like the second day of the contest. Hurts and Stroud, and you can see the quarterback ADPs, I think, started kind of more efficient and then went down. Hawkinson and Kincaid, AJ Brown, Metcalf, Kirk, Pittman, Jameson Williams, Mechie, which is whatever, and then Tank Dell, the hit. White, Charbonnet, Damian out for the year, I think. Gibson injured, Warren a hit. Miller and Bigsby are what they are. Where's that Josh Allen and maybe it's this one? Yeah. This is a really fun team. I drafted this before the schedule was released, but I quite liked doing the double elite quarterback, which is already going to be somewhat unique. So it's Allen and Herbert, and then we built a 2-7-7-2. AJ Dillon, P. Ryan, Gibson, Warren, Singletary, Bigsby, Ford. So mixed bag here. Dillon, fine. Aaron Jones is now hurt. P. Ryan getting some usage. Gibson, again, hurt. Jalen Warren, very solid. Singletary, very solid. Bigsby, no. And Ford, very solid. So it hit on some of the 0 running back guys. Diggs, a hit. Mike Williams has been out for the year. Godwin, not a great pick. You would wish that would be Mike Evans, but he's playing. Tyler Lockett is playing, has been fine. Gabe Davis, a stacking partner. Isaiah Hodgins, a near zero. And Jaden Reed, a very solid pick. And then Hawkinson and Kincaid, a pairing I did a lot. All right, gang. I think we're going to end it here. Usually this show goes closer to an hour. But again, did a couple streams today. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're only... It's week. Let's just look at the NFL schedule together. And I want to talk about the bye weeks. So the advance rates right now for all of these teams are going to be somewhat inflated. So the big ones to know are the Ravens advance rates are somewhat inflated. The Bills advance rates are somewhat inflated. There's no one really on the Bears. I guess Komet. For the Raiders, it's Jacobs and Adams is somewhat inflated, and Jacoby Myers. The Vikings guys are somewhat inflated. I guess Saquon, there's really no one that's strongly advancing there. The Cardinals, again, going to be a little inflated here. And Commanders got quite a bit of guys. Brian Robinson, how they're all inflated too. So how these buys sort out are going to be important because we got week 12, we got week 13, we got week 14, 3 weeks until the regular season is over, and then 3 more weeks until someone wins $3 million playing Best Ball Mania 4. Just absolutely insane stuff. Real quick, we'll look at my exposures. It was a good week for me. Kincaid, solid as always. Nothing special. Gabe Davis a 0. Charbonnet is now the starter and gave you a usable week. Really, really tough schedule. Warren, long touchdown, and they fired the OC. Pollard, touchdown. Kirk did nothing. Bigsby continues to do nothing. Hawkinson, whatever game. Darius Slayton scored a touchdown, then got hurt. Diggs did not have a great game. JSN did not have a great game. Mike Williams has been out. Josh Allen had a great game. Richardson been out. No. Chase got a garbage time touchdown. Watson even scored a touchdown. No. IR. Swift had a great game. Ridley had a great game. Ramondre was on bye. Kyron Williams is now back. That's huge for me. Damian didn't do anything. Devonta Smith had a decent game. Jameson Williams scored a touchdown. Amon-Ra continues to do grown man things. Rashid Shaheed, probably a little bit better outlook with Michael Thomas out. Singletary has a solid game. So really strong week for a lot of my guys. So yeah. All right, guys, that's what I got. I'll be back on Friday at the latest for my Friday Pick'em show. Have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your families. Hopefully you're hanging out with them for Thanksgiving. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone. Peace out. Again, once the stream ends, refresh it. Drop a comment in the YouTube. The YouTube comments really seems to help me. Peace out.